Welcome all of you. Last class we studied about for loop. For loop is another type of iterative statement. Before that studied about while loop, which is also an iterative statement. So now we studied two different types of iterative statement, while loop and for loop. Today we can study how to do programs by using while loop. So I'll show you the syntax of programs by using for loop. Programs by using for loop. Okay, so here I'll show you the syntax of for loop. See, this is the syntax of for loop. For variable name, in, range, start, stop, step, and the loop body. This is a common syntax of for loop. For is the keyword. Here you have to use any variable name. In range is another keyword, and inside the bracket there are three arguments are there. One is start, second one is stop, and the third one is step value. Step value is not compulsory. Everywhere it's not compulsory to use the step value. If you want to increment the variable by 1, then you can omit the step value. So you can discard the step value. So here start and stop will be taken as the initial value and the final value of the variable. And for statement is end with a colon, and you can write the loop body statement under the indentation of the for loop. Here I just written one example over here. For D in range of 1 to 20, print D. So that means D is the variable name. It is ranging from 1 to 20. Here the start value is 1 and the end value is 20. So for loop will discard the end value. So that means it will display the numbers between 1 and 19. So 20 will not be taken. It will display the numbers between 1 and 19. See the second example I written over there. For A in range 50 to 100, 2. So that means 50 is the start value, 100 is the stop value, and 2 is the step value. 2 is the step value. So print A. So that means it will display the numbers first to 50. After that increment is done by 2. Increment is done by that variable incrementation is done by 2. So that means you will get 50, 52, 54 till 100. Not without 100. This 100 will not be there. Excluding 100 till 98 you will get the answer. Okay, so 90, the last value will be 98. 98 plus 2 will give you the 100. So it will not take the 100 value. So that means it will display the numbers from 50 to 100 incremented by 99. 50 to 100 means discarding 100 till 99. It will be taking the value from 50 to 99. That is all about for loop. Now, if you are not using the step value, by default, for loop will take the step value as 1. So that means increment is taken by 1. Variable incrementation is variable is incremented by 1. So step value is 1 there if user is not mentioning the step value. Or we can mention the step value there in the for loop statement itself. Now, if you want to decrement, then you can give the step value as the minus value. If you are giving the positive value, that means without any sign, it will be incremented. If you want to decrement, then you can use the negative step value. Now we can see certain programs over there. Now you have to try out what will happen if you are using a negative step value, how the execution is going on. I'll show you one example here. So before going to this program, I'll show the step value as negative value. I'll open the Python screen here. I am going to write for P in range 100 to, here start value is the largest value and stop value is the smallest value, and comma -2. -2 I am giving the step value. So here the step value is negative value. Now print P. I am going to say print P. Now run this program and see what is the answer. I'll use the end keyword also. Otherwise, you can't see everything on the single line. So single screen. I'll run the program. I'll save it. The file name will be sample 32. Sample 32. So here there are 2 equal to is there. End with only 1 equal to. 2 equal to means it is conditional statement or relational expression. See that it is displaying here. I didn't give any space over there, that is why it's displaying this way. If you want, you can give a space inside this one. So after each value, it will display space over there in your screen. You can try out that also. See, you will get this answer. It is 100, 98, 96 like that till 52. So here the stop value is 50. So 50 is not taken there. Step value is -2. That is why it is in decrement order. Now we can see the programs what is mentioned in the slide. So the first program, see the first program is display the numbers between 1 and 100. Display the numbers between 1 and 100, which I explained already along with the syntax. The same thing, you can use it over there. Here, I am going to give them comment statement first. Display numbers. Okay, display numbers. This is the comment statement, and it is you have to display the numbers between. See, the question is 1 and 100. Display the numbers between 1 and 100. So here the start value is 1 and stop value is 100. If you want to display 100, then you have to give it as 101. One value ahead. So that is, if you want to display, that depends upon the question. Here the question is between 1 and 100. That means either you can include 100 or without the 100. That both the meanings are there. It is not mentioned 100 must be included. So up to, that is up to the user, up to the programmer, it will be, you can decide there. Now here you can, this is from 1 to 3. So there is step value is 1. It is not compulsory to give the step value, or you can give the step value this way. You can omit that step value there, or with the step value also you can give it. I'll run the program and see the output, what is happening. When you run this program, you can see the answers as 1, 2, 3 till 100 will be displayed over there. Okay, so here stop value is 100, that is why 100 is not displaying here. That is all about that question. Now see the next question, second question in that program. Second question in this program is program to display the numbers between, even numbers between 1 and 100. Display the even numbers between 1 and 100. So the question is display even numbers. Display even numbers between 1 and 100. So it is, which is the first, between 1 and 100. So I am going to give them loop statement, start value, stop value, everything is I am giving this way. Okay, I am going to give it this way. And after that, you can do the same program in two different ways. I will show you both the method. Here I am just generating the numbers between 1 and 100. I am generating the numbers between 1 and 100. And after generating the numbers, I am going to check whether this number is an even number or not. You have to check whether the number is even or not. So the generated number, I am going to check it is even. How will you check that number is even? Divide it with 2, take its remainder, check the remainder is 0. So that for loop will generate the numbers from 1 to 100, and each number you are checking it is an even number or not. If it is even, then you will display that value here. And automatically here the updation with 1. So automatically you will get the next number and the same procedure will be displayed. Now we can check how it is working. You can run this program. See, you got all the even numbers between 1 and 100. Now, same program, I am going to do second method. I'll write it over here. I'll give the message over here, that is second method. Second method is a message, and I'll write the for loop this way: for p in range 2 to 100. P in range 2 to 100, and updation is, here I am not going to check the condition. Previous case you check the condition because you generated all the numbers between 1 and 100. Here I am not checking the condition. Here I am starting with the 2. 2 means it's an even number. And when you update it by 2, automatically you will get only the even numbers. There is no need to check the condition. So I am going to say print P and yes, run the program and see whether you're getting the same answer in both the case or not. Yes, the first case this is output from 2 to 98, and second is also from 2 to 98. That is all about that question. Okay, so you can do that program either using this method or using this method. You can use it. Now the next question, see the next question in the slide. So this is a program to find the sum of the even numbers between m and n. These are the questions we already done by using while loop. I'm just converting the same program into for loop. Only the difference is that one. The other one you done it by using for while loop. Here I am using it doing by using the for loop. Here, see that find the sum of the even numbers between m and n. Here to find the sum of the even numbers between m and n. What is the value of m and n? It is given in the question. No, it is not given in the question. That means we have to accept it from the user. M and n is not given in the question. In the previous question, it is mentioned that between 1 and 100. There we know that the start value is 1 and the end value is 100. Here we don't know the value of m and n. We just know that the start value is m and the end value is n. Only that much we know that. So we have to display the numbers between m and n. That means the start value is m and the end value is n. So in this case, you have to accept the value of m and n. You have to accept the value of m and n. Now I'll do that program here. I'm not changing the comment statement. Comment statement, display numbers. Okay, display numbers. Okay. Now I'll just remove this for loop. Here we want to input the value of m. So m equal to int input, enter the value of m. Enter the value of m. Now n equal to int input, enter the value of n. Enter the value of n. See that you are accepting both m and n. M is the start value and n is the stop value. So I can use the for loop in this way. Instead of this m1, what you will write? Which is the start value in this question? In this question, the start value is m. What you will write here? In this question, the stop value is n. Now, we don't know whether what we are inputting an even number or not. If m is even and if your step value is 2, then automatically you will get the even numbers itself. Is it right? So if m is even and if the step value is 2, automatically the for loop will give you the even numbers itself. But here the m can be even or odd. User is inputting the value. We cannot predict what is the what type of input user is giving, whether it is even number or odd number. Okay, so here we cannot predict the user's input. User can input either an even number or odd number. So that is why I am not using the step value here. Or you can say the step value I am going to use it as 1. Either you can omit the step value or you can include the step value. But if you are including the step value must be 1. So here I am going to use the for loop this way. So that loop will generate the numbers between m and n. It will generate the numbers between m and n. All the numbers will be generated. After that, you are checking whether this number is an even number or not. So the generator number will be stored inside the variable p. And you are checking it is an even number or not. So if it is even, we have to find out the sum. So I am going to say sum equal to sum plus p. So here initial value of the sum is sum equal to 0. Initial value of sum is 0. Sum equal to sum plus p. 0 plus the even number. So all the even numbers will be added here. Here you don't want to update the variable. Updation is automatically done by the for loop itself. It will automatically update the variable by 1. Updation done by using the value 1. So automatically here we don't want to update it. For loop will update the value. Now you will get the sum. After that here you can say print sum is I am going to say the sum as p. Not p, I am going to say sum as sum. Now run the program and see the output whether you are getting the correct answer or not. I am going to give the m value as 1 and n value as 10. See, m is 1. That is an odd number. So here you will get the sum is 20. So that means you are getting 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus. Okay, so till 8 it will be adding there and you are getting the value 20. That is all about sum of the even numbers. Now next question, go through the next question in the slide. Next question is this one, program to find the sum of n different numbers. Program to find the sum of n different numbers. N different numbers means here I am going to give the sum of n different numbers. Sum of n different numbers. Yes. So here what is the value of n? What is it mentioned in the question? It is not mentioned. That means we have to input the value of n, right? So it is not mentioned how many numbers. How many numbers we don't know. That we have to accept from the user. In the question it is mentioned that n numbers. So n is how much we don't know. So we have to accept the value of n. So I am going to accept the value of m here. I can give the message as how many numbers. How many numbers. See how many numbers message coming over there. So the how many numbers will be stored inside the variable n. N numbers are there, or 100 numbers are there, or 10 numbers are there. So total 10 numbers that is there in the variable n. And one by one we have to accept the numbers. One by one we have to accept the numbers. For that I am using a count variable here. I am going to use count equal to 1. So I am going to use count equal to 1. Count equal to 1 means each time when you input the when you input the value, then you will in the count variable will be updated. Count variable will be updated. So count will contain the value 1 now, and here I am using the for loop. See, we want to count it. Count in range. Here it is from 1 to n. 1 to n. Is it 1 to n? If you are giving 1 to n, will it accept the last value? Nth value will not be accepted. If I am saying 1 to 5, 1 to 5 means you have to say it will take only 1, 2, 3 and 4. Only 4 numbers will be accepted. It will not take the 5th number. So if you want to just accept the 5th number, then you have to say 1 to n plus 1. So using the for loop will run 1 to n times. Now I am going to accept the first number. Here I am going to accept the first number in input, enter the number. Okay, so the first number we are storing inside the variable a, and after that I am going to find the sum equal to sum plus a. Sum equal to sum plus a. So this for loop will accept this number, accept the numbers n times. So that means it will accept n different numbers from the user, and which will be added along with the sum. So the count is initially 1. So first when count is 1, the first number is accepted. Loop will itself, for loop will accept the increment the value of count as 2, and the second number accepted, and which will be added along with the sum. Again it will increment the count as 3 and accept the third number, and which will be added along with the sum. The same procedure will be repeated, and you will get the output. We can run the program. See, I am going to give the input as I want to find out the sum of 3 numbers. The first number is 10, second is 20, and third is 30. So how much is the sum? So if you are giving small number, manually you can find out how much is the sum. So you will get the sum as 60. So that is all about that program. Sum of n different numbers. Okay. Now see the next question. Next question in the program is this one. Program to display the multiplication table of a given number. Display the multiplication table of a given number, which we already done in while loop. Same procedure. So first step, you have to accept the number which you want to display the multiplication table. Okay. After that, starting from 1 to 12, you have to display the multiplication table. So that means you have to generate the numbers from 1 to n. So your multiplication table is, normally we will say the multiplication table as 1 to 12. If you want to give it as 1 to 20, you give it, no problem at all. That you have to, inside the for loop, you change the store value. Here we want to display the multiplication table from 1 to 12. So the start value is 1 and the end value will be n. So that means the number which you are inputting from the user or from accepting from the user. So I'll give the message here. This is multiplication table. Yes, see, the question is this one. First I will change the message and enter the number which you want to display, enter the number which you want to display multiplication table. So which you want to display multiplication table, so that will be there in the variable n. Now our multiplication is table. I am going to start it from 1 to 12. So count value, sorry, here count in range 1 to n plus 1. Count is actually not needed. This count initialization is not needed. In the previous program also count initialization is not needed at all. Now because we are using the for loop, I think the previous problem I already explained. I just explained the count as initialized as 1 inside the program. That is not needed because we are using the for loop. Now count in range 1 to n plus 1. That means this for loop will generate the numbers from 1 to n. It is generating the numbers from 1 to n. And we need to display the multiplication table. So I am going to say print the first number. Well, normally we will say the multiplication table as 1 into 2 equal to 2. 1 is there in the variable count. Is it right? The count will give you the numbers from 1 to 10. So count, comma, and here it is star, comma, 1 into 2. 2 is there in the variable n. So you want to display the multiplication table of 2. So 2 is there in the variable n. Then comma, equal to, comma, equal to is a string. So that is inside the double quotes. It's not a variable. So it's inside the double quotes. Now you have to display the product. Product you can write count into n. Count into n. Now run the program and see the output. You can see the multiplication table as, is it the way you are expecting the multiplication table or not? I am going to say I want multiplication table of 4. It will be displaying 1, 2, 3 till 4. Why it is showing it till 4? Yes, I just given a. Here, is it n plus 1? Can you say is it n plus 1? You can change it. I am going to give 1 to 12. So it is 1 to 12. Run the program. If you want 1 to 13, you can give it, run it and see what will happen. Yes, you will get the multiplication table from 1 to 13. So I want the multiplication table of 7. See, it is 1 to 12. Understood? All of you understood or not? Same procedure. Instead of while loop, we are using the for loop. Only difference is there. Now that is all about that question. Multiplication table. Now the next question in the slide is this one. Program to input a number and find the sum of the factors of a given number, which is also be done by using while loop. Program to input a number and find the sum of the factors of the given number. Can you see? So here I'll change the comment statement. I'll write sum of factors. Sum of factors. Okay, you have to find the sum of the factors of a given number. Okay, I am going to input that number. Input the number which you want to find the sum of the factors. How will you find out the sum of the factors? Which I already told you what is the logic behind to find the sum of the factors. How will you find out the factor? How can you find out the factor if I am saying the number 50 or I am going to say the number 60? How can you say the factors? How can you find out the factors? You have to divide 60 with 1, divide 60 to 2, check the remainder is 0. Then 2 will be a factor. Divide 60 with 3, check the remainder. If the remainder is 0, then 3 will be a factor. Check 60 with 4. If the remainder is 0, then 4 will be a factor. The same procedure you have to repeat it. Okay, so if you want to find the factors of n, then you have to divide n with the 1, 2, 3 till n. 1 and the given number is the factor of that particular number. So if your number is n, you have to divide it with 1 to n. So that means here 1 to n plus 1, 1 to n plus 1. Okay, I am going to divide it with for if n is the number, n percentage count equal to 0. You can use the variable. Here I just use the count variable. That is why I am repeating with the same count variable. Count is 1. So n is the given number. Here dividing given number with 1. After that count is incremented to 2. You are dividing n with 2. Count is incremented to 3. You are dividing n with 3. So each time you are dividing the given number with the count value. And we want to find out the sum. So I can find out the sum as sum equal to sum plus, if the remainder is 0, then which is the factor? Count is the factor. So count, sum plus count. Okay. Now we can say print sum of the factors is, sum of the factors is sum. Sum of the factors is sum. Run the program and see the output. I want to find out the factors of 10. Okay, what are the factors of 10? 1, 2, 5, 10. So 1, 2, 5, 10 added together, you will get 18. That is all about that question. You are inputting the number and dividing the number with the 1 to that number. So that means here you are taking 1 and the given number also as the factor of that number. You are adding and you are getting the number. So that is all about that question. Now the next question, okay, that in this slide only this much of question is mentioned over here. That is all about for loop. I think all of you understood the concept of for loop. How can you use the for loop in your program also? So next set of questions we can study in the next class. Thank you all of you.